Hey everybody, Jim Reynolds, Youth Director here at Belvedere Covenant Church with Scott Nellis, our pastor here at Belvedere Covenant. Thanks for joining me today and going through a few things that are on my mind, and hopefully you can give us some good insight.
Well, I appreciate you asking me and look forward to sharing some different things.
Okay. Well, first thing I want to talk about is AWANA.
hmm
It's a big part of our church, and just curious, what is AWANA for those that might not know about it? Why is it important to our church and community?
Well, AWANA is our church's outreach to children in ages 3 through 6th grade. It meets on Wednesday nights from 6:30 to 8 o'clock, September through May.
Okay.
It involves children from our church, within our church family, but many children from our community. Some of them from other churches, many of them from no church at all.
Okay.
And we divide the kids up into 3 different clubs. We've got cubbies. That's the preschoolers, 3 and 4 year olds,
Little ones.
the little ones. They're always a lot of fun to watch, and
Yep.
very enthusiastic and excited. Then we've got the Sparks. They're the kindergartners through 2nd grade. And then we've got the T&T Clubbers, Truth and Training, and they're the 3rd through 6th graders. And every night we have a half an hour game time where the kids will play games, relay games, exciting games around a circle. It gets pretty noisy down here in the church fellowship hall when they're doing that. We have a half an hour where they break up into small groups and they work through a handbook, reading some lessons, learning some Bible verses, memorizing the verses. And during the year, as they complete different sections and learn different verses, they earn awards throughout the year. And then the third session is a half an hour of large group time, and that involves
So everyone's together with the T and Tiers, the older kids.
T and tiers together in one, just by themselves. Sparks by themselves, and the cubbies, all
Okay.
the cubbies,
Each one is together as their group.
but separately. Yeah.
Got it. Okay.
And that involves singing and worshiping, usually a Bible story and some practical lesson for their lives, on what it means to follow Jesus and have a relationship with him. And our goal in Awana is to help boys and girls come to know, love, and serve Jesus Christ. And that's why it's so important.
Yeah. That's
Uh,
great.
for many of these kids, this is their first introduction to Jesus.
Right. They haven't even heard the
No,
gospel.
they haven't heard the gospel, the basics. They don't know anything about the Bible. So this is the exciting thing. We get to introduce them to Jesus.
Yeah.
Many of these kids, they have given their lives to Christ through this program.
hmm
As they learn and as we share the good news of Christ's love and forgiveness and salvation with them. So, they indicate that they prayed to receive Jesus as Lord and Savior. We give them that opportunity. And that's always a celebration. And that's what it's all about. So this ministry really makes an eternal impact on the lives of these kids as God goes to work through us and through this program.
That's great. And one thing I appreciate about it is high schoolers, students that I work with a lot, they get an opportunity to serve in this ministry. Talk a little bit about, I think they're called Leaders in Training, LIT. What's the value there? What do they do, on a Wednesday night?
Yeah, not only do we have adult leaders who are working with these kids, but we invite high school students to also participate, to be involved as student leaders, leaders in training,
Okay.
LITs. And what they do is they work with the kids. Some of them will be working with them during game time with the game teams. Some of them will be working in the small groups, just listening to the kids, helping them learn the Bible verses and listening to them recite the Bible verses. There's a wide variety of different things that these high school students do. And what's neat is they're being given an opportunity to serve,
Yeah, that's what I like.
to learn. They're getting confident, in their gifts and their abilities. They relate so well to these kids. I mean, these Awana kids just look up to these high school leaders and just idolize them.
Yeah.
So
I can tell, especially at snow camp, they've built that relationship over the year, and then they're at a condensed weekend together, and it just really gels from their time, and they're, what, about 5 to 8 years apart, roughly, depending on the grade that they're in.
And so they have an opportunity to be a role model
Mm-hmm.
that these kids look up to, as what it means to be a follower of Jesus, what that looks like in a real and practical, personal way.
Yeah, that's great.
And then the student leaders also, they're working side by side with the adult leaders, so they're kind of being mentored.
Mm-hmm.
They're being taught, and they're experiencing some spiritual growth in their lives.
Yeah, it's
So,
a great model.
yeah.
I think if I only had one thing I could only do with the high school, it would probably be something like that, where they're actually serving, and it's just a great opportunity through AWANA for the high school students to do that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's a key part of our program, not just working with the kids, but also giving them the high school students the chance to exhibit some leadership.
Yeah. So, what are some key dates coming up? I believe there's a training coming up, and then there's maybe a registration. Go through some of those key dates coming up.
Yeah, we're just about ready to launch things, get things off the ground. Next Wednesday, 31st of
31st.
August.
Okay.
That's going to be our leaders meeting at 6:30. So, all adults and all student leaders who want to be involved in this coming year, we ask them to be there at that meeting. We've got a lot of information to share as we get our year underway. We will have a registration night, open house, for parents to come with their kids and register them for AWANA. That's Wednesday, September 7th.
Okay, so the first Wednesday.
Yeah, first
after
Wednesday
Labor
of
Day.
September.
Okay.
That's between 6:30 and 7:30. And they can meet their leaders. They can purchase their supplies, their handbooks. Kids wear uniforms and jerseys, so they can pick those up at that time. So they've got everything ready to go for the first session.
Ready to roll.
And the first session is Wednesday, September 14th.
14th. Okay, so 3 weeks in a row. Now, if maybe someone's watching and they say, "Hey, I'd like to help," maybe a high school student or an adult that might not know they can, do you still need help, and what should they do?
We can always use help. This is a very leader-intensive program because we want to try to have as many adults working with kids as possible. Like a 2 leader to a 5 student ratio, if possible. And so there's always room for more. If somebody wants to serve and get involved, they should contact me, and I'll give them some information.
Okay, just email you at the church or call you at the church.
Yeah, email
Somehow.
me, call me, however they want to contact.
Okay, great.